Hey, welcome. It's your girl, Shay Michonne, and here's some advice I bet you didn't even know you needed. All right, so if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. You know, I'm a new little fledgling page and I'm going to go somewhere with this. I'm not quite sure where. I haven't fleshed out the vision of it, but it's definitely to inspire directly and indirectly. And you know what? That's a really good way to find out what your purpose is to develop a personal motto, okay? When you have a personal motto, it leads you to your destination when you're trying to decipher your decisions. And that happens to be mine, to inspire directly and indirectly. And when you have your purpose, you can use that to help guide you, like I said, to help remind you what you are supposed to be doing ultimately. Because when you find your purpose, you live a purpose filled life. All right. So I know you've hit that like button and subscribe and all that, but let's get to business. Finding our purpose in 2022. 7 things that will help you, my dear. Is it easy to find your purpose? Hell no. Ugh. You know, if you think that your purpose is a final destination, not like the movie, but if you think of your purpose as a final destination, you won't get the opportunity to continue to grow because your purpose is multifaceted. So it's not just one destination, it's not a static situation. Your purpose is something that is ever evolving because you should always be ever evolving. And when you find out what your purpose is, even if it's by developing a motto, you can use that in so many areas of your life. You can use that in your personal and your professional life because now they really converge. So you want to be on point. The world is changing, all right? 1900s baby here, right here. It's not the way it used to be. And people like me who are in our 40s, we have to understand that finding our purpose is a little bit different in this new workforce because it's not like where you show up and you're first there and you're last gone. And it's just not like that anymore. So finding our purpose, we need to be a little bit more fluid with it and understanding that it's not a static place anymore. It's not a final destination. It's an ever evolving situation. But at the core of it, when you know your purpose, you can be full of yourself and not in an arrogant way, but full in the understanding of yourself that you are able to live the authentic version of you. So we've got 7 things on finding our purpose in 2022. I hope I inspire you directly or indirectly as I live my purpose. Okay, so I know you've liked, subscribed, all that good stuff. Step 2, trust that you really do have a higher purpose. We all do. We're not a mistake. I mean, yeah, we're just dust walking around on a big old dust ball floating through the universe, but we still have purpose placed upon us. And step 2 is trust that you really do have a higher purpose. You are here. You're here for a reason. And it really is up to you to find that reason. And once you find that reason, you can start to live your authentic self because you can accept whom you are. Because 2022, there's going to be so many levels of you unlocked. And the first one is knowing what our purpose is. Step 2 is what we're talking about. Trust that you really do have a higher purpose. And you know what? You do a big disservice if you do not seek out and live your purpose. The good Lord has placed upon us, everybody, a purpose that is meant to be shared so that others can grow. So we are doing a big disservice to this universe if we don't set out to find out what our purpose is. So finding our purpose, step 2, trust that you really do have a higher purpose. Okay, so we're on step number 4. Identify your passions, your values, and your goals. Write it out, my dear. Write it out. I'm sitting here being your inspirational coach to help you find your purpose for 2022, and we're on step 4. Okay, step 4 is identify your passions, your values, and your goals. So get out your paper, get out your little note or whatever on your favorite device, and identify them. And take it from every facet of your life, every area, from work to home, professional, personal. What do you like about your job? Okay? Unless you have that job where just going in is like torture and murder, you need to rechange your thinking, because there's gotta be something that you enjoy that actually be like, okay, I like this part of my job. I'm going to do this. Yeah, no problem. Get it done. Learn everything about it. Love it. It's passion. What about your values? What about your values, your personal values, your job values? Is it that's important to you? Is it flexibility? Is it the pay? And it can never be about the pay, because the money will always follow. You just got to put the work in first. There's no way around it unless you win the lotto. And the odds of that are staggering for the average Joe and Jane, Schmo and Larry and Mo. It's just not going to happen. So we are learning to identify our passions, our values, and our goals. So I know I did a YouTube video on SMART goals, and I know because you love me, you're going to go look at it, right? Because you got to know what your goals are in order to find your purpose. We know that our purpose is not a final destination. So we know that our purpose is going to have to be all encompassing of the entirety of our life in order to live our authentic self. How else do we find our purpose in 2022? Well, let's go over the next step. Take action every day. All right, so let me give you an actionable item. Some things that will help you to identify the previous step, finding your passion, your values, and your goals. Since part of this is to take action, 1, you're going to go look at my previous video on SMART goals. Yes, baby, you are. And then 2, let's look at some of these actionable items, shall we? So an actionable item that we can utilize to find our transferable abilities, right, is to transfer what we do and think about it in a way that will relate from point A to point B. All right, so transferable abilities equal experience, judgment, aptitude, maturity. Some examples is your ability to troubleshoot things. Oh, this is going wrong, so we need to do X, Y, Z. Organizing, perhaps you're really great at organizing events. Strategic planning, that's where you know that there are many different facets involved, and they all gotta accumulate to one outcome. Then you have public speaking. Not everybody is good at public speaking or Zoom speaking, since that's the new normality, and interpersonal relations. Perhaps you're the peacekeeper in the group. You can get people who have very strong personalities to come together and meet in the middle or have a favorable outcome. That is a transferable ability, my dear. And then maybe you have the ability to manage projects or leadership skills. And I think I'm going to do an episode on developing our leadership skills, because that's something that really speaks to me. So when we're thinking about our transferable abilities, and I'm sitting here living my purpose-filled life, being your inspirational coach, we got to think about things I have done. Just do a brain dump, list the last 10 things that you've done. Okay, it doesn't make a difference if it's practical or nonsensical. Just list the 10 things that you've done. And then I want you to list, what are you natural at? Because when you are naturally capable of doing something, it just flows from you. It just flows from you. And we are not good at everything. We are not meant to be good at everything, but we do have those innate natural abilities that just come flawlessly. And this is one of those moments where it is okay to pat yourself on the back. It is okay for you to be your own best cheerleader, okay? Because if you're not, my dear, who else is going to be your own best cheerleader? And living your purpose-filled life, you have to be able to be your own best cheerleader, because you know your abilities, you know your skills. So now is the time, so that we can live our purpose-filled life in 2022, that we think about those transferable abilities. So that's actionable step number 1 in this 7-step situation. And we're almost done. We're getting there. We got 2 more steps, but I got 2 more actionable items for you to think about as well. Okay, so actionable item number 2, personal qualities. Personal qualities equals preferences and temperament. And some examples, and this is not an all-inclusive of these examples. These are just some examples to help get the brain juices flowing, right? So we can get the clarity that we need. So some examples of personal qualities: creative, goal-oriented, analytical, entrepreneurial, a quick study, energetic, and persuasive. These are qualities of our person. Like, we just have these traits, and then I want you to list it out, of course, right? Because this is an actionable item that you can utilize to help you find your purpose in 2022, your purpose-filled life in 2022, right? You're going to ask yourself, I am I'm a quick study. I can look at information and be like, okay, it's this, and this. And then I can take that information and train it back to somebody quickly and efficiently, so that they can understand the information needed, so that they can accomplish their goal. I like being in front of a class and explaining this information, this complex knowledge, and breaking it down in a relatable way, in a fun way to learn. So you see, when we ask ourselves those questions, I am and I like, when it comes to us thinking about our personal qualities, it helps us to find our purpose. So again, my purpose in this world is to inspire directly and indirectly. And I use my creative abilities to do that. And I use my entrepreneurial skills to do that. And I definitely use my persuasive skills to do that. And I like to take complex information and analyze it. So you see how I'm using these action words to help me find my personal qualities. So your action step to help you find your purpose in 2022 is to find your personal qualities. This is going to be a good year for us, pandemic or not. We have no choice but to make it a good year. We are going to pivot with what life has given us. And you're going to go ahead and hit that subscribe and that like, and you're also going to share this, baby. Go ahead and share. You know you want to share. Okay, so here's the last action step in this 7-step situation for finding our purpose in 2022. The last action step is technical skills. All right. Okay, so when it comes to technical skills, all right, these are skills that we are going to acquire from doing things like our employment. Technical skills equals your expertise as well as your credentials. And some examples of your technical skills are programming, accounting, rocket science, environmental law, compensation and benefits, statistical processing, and data warehousing. So these are the technical skills that are required for your job. And even if you're thinking like, yeah, okay, this isn't my job, none of my job is in any of those categories, your job still requires some sort of technical skill. You still have to go through some formal training situation when you got hired, okay? There's some technical ability that you have. So helping us to figure out what our technical skill is, we ask ourselves 2 questions. I know and I am good at. All right. I know when it comes to training applications, there is an end user and there is an administrative side. And I am good at taking both of those sets of information and training individuals so that they can accomplish their job. That's for me. That's how I would explain my technical skill. But the point is to use these actionable items to help you develop your purpose. Because once you can start putting action words to the things that you do, identifying your passions, your values, and your goals, that's why we're using these actionable items. It's allowing us to take action every day by learning these things about ourselves. We become very, very secure in ourselves. And that's one of the things that leads us back to one of our steps, listening and trusting our inner knowing. So in order for us to do that, we have to identify our passions, our values, and our goals. And in order to do that, we've got to take action steps every day. And it starts out by setting out goals. It starts out by writing this information down so that we can be held accountable to ourselves. Because if we don't hold ourselves accountable for our life, it's not going to get any better. Okie dokie, so look, we're going over the 7 steps to discover your purpose. I just explained some actionable steps, but let's recap because we have 2 more steps to get through. So first we realize that, hey, I want to get to my purpose-filled life. I want to develop my purpose for 2022. We're going to develop our motto so that we can start living by that, right? That's going to be our destination. And the 7 steps to discover our purpose in 2022 starts off by asking some questions. Where are you now? Whose life are you living? How do you want to see yourself? How do you see yourself? And will finding my life purpose make me happy. Step 2, trust that you really do have a higher purpose. Nobody is a mistake. Nobody. And listen to your inner knowing, trusting that inner voice. We're going to develop that relationship so that we can get there, right? And then identify your passions, your values, your goals. You're going to circle back to my SMART values video, and then you're going to put some of these actionable steps into the process. And then the next step is take action every day. I just gave you some actionable steps. You can do this, babe. You're doing a good job. So the next step is don't just make it about money. The money will come, and I said that earlier. The money will always come. When I first started training at Ticketmaster, way back in 1980 something, I'm pretty sure I was making like maybe $10, $11, $12, $15 an hour. When I was training for the state as a welfare to work trainer, helping people learn how to look for jobs and interview for jobs, I probably didn't even break $13 an hour. It wasn't until I started walking in my purpose did I finally break a comma and a couple of zeros. Okay. But it took time. It took cultivation. I had to identify my passions. I had to know my values. I had to set goals, take action steps to accomplish those goals. And then I had to make sure it wasn't about money. I had to survive, but the money would come. You got to ask yourself, would you take a pay cut in what you are doing now so that you can progress, so that you can live your purpose-filled life? Because when you're living your purpose-filled life, the good Lord will take care of you. He takes care of the birds, the bees, the trees, and the fishes in the seas. So why would he take care of you? And I know people be like, that's not what that saying means. Dang it, yes it does. To me it does. That's my interpretation. Take it if you like it. And then the last step in this 7-step process to discover your purpose in 2022 is define your own vision of success. Articulate it. Be able to state it aloud to people. And when they knock you down about your vision of success, make sure that you've sat back and you've analyzed, and you can be like, well, I put this goal in place and I've accomplished this, this, and this. So now I'm able to live my version of success. So you got to be able to define your version of success. And you know, when you do that, you get your clarity and you'll get your commitment to your purpose-filled life in 2022. So this is all about developing the brand of you. And hopefully you've hit that like button, that subscribe button. Maybe you've shared this with somebody because you're supporting your girl. Yes, you are. And I love you for that, and I appreciate you for that. So again, quick recap. We went over the 7 steps to discover our purpose. We asked ourselves some questions. We decided that we need to trust that we have a higher purpose. We're going to listen to our inner voice. We're going to identify our passions, our values, and our goals. We're going to take steps towards that purpose every day, because it's not a static situation, it's ever evolving. And then we're going to make sure we don't make it about money, because the bags will follow. And then lastly, we're going to define our own vision of success. So I hope you're getting ready to embark on a fantabulous 2022 with me. Thanks for liking. Keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And always, I appreciate you.